Hello, that's 51st Peril. I'm Samuel. You know what? Today is a good day. It's spring, a new semester has started. It's time when everyone can, as they say, turn over a new leaf. I hope you're full of energy, because today's guest definitely knows something about energy. Everyone, please welcome Ula on this podcast. Hello, Ula.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. As you said, it's spring, it's warm, and it makes me full of energy.
That's very good. Yeah, the weather is nice, by the way. I mean, yeah,
I mean, it was nice during the weekend. It was fantastic. I even went running for the first time this year, but now I think it's going to rain a bit.
yeah, probably, but still, it's quite warm here in Wrocław compared to some other places. Anyway, let's talk about your studies. As I mentioned in the introduction, you know something about energy. What does that mean?
All right, I will tell you what the mystery is. I am studying power engineering here at the University of Technology in Wrocław, and yeah, I'm studying energy basically, how it is produced, how we distribute it, and how we use it basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, basically, do you have any specialization?
Yes, because we can study something connected more to houses and like little businesses and stuff, and we can also do learn about power plants and heat and power plants, which is actually what I do because it interests me more. The
Mm-hmm.
big energy is more exciting to
Yeah,
me.
sure. Okay. Well, that's interesting. And why did you choose this field of studies?
It's not a very interesting story. Actually, I was just looking through what this university could offer me, and I just saw power engineering, and it was something that I didn't even think that is something you can study actually. But when I thought about it, it seemed quite interesting. And also, they said that it was connected to thermodynamics, which is
Okay.
my favorite field of physics.
Okay.
And yeah, there are a lot of it. There's a
Okay.
lot of thermodynamics here,
Of
so I
course.
chose right, I guess. Yeah, and then now I think about it, it's connected to the fact that I really like to know how things work and to see them all around me. So now that I see, as we have in Wrocław at Łowiecka Street,
Mm-hmm.
our heat and power plant, then I know how it works,
Yeah.
and it's also very exciting to me.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I also have this understanding of how things work because I also have some subjects which in which we are learning how constructions work, and every time now I pass over this bridge, Grunwaldzki Bridge.
Yeah, you look at
Yeah.
it and you see the
Yeah.
forces.
Okay, mechanics. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Good.
what I'm talking
It
about.
was useful.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting to me, especially because in my family there aren't any engineers.
Mm.
So my mom studied economics and my dad is a vet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of unusual for me to go into a more technical field of study. So they don't really understand what I'm doing here or what I'm learning about, but they are very supportive.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay, and another thing I wanted to ask you was connected also to, of course, power engineering. But recently many people say that, okay, we need some progress in this field, we need to change something, and all of this stuff. So, what do you think about that? Because you know what? Like recently, I realized that sometimes I'm not thinking about our studies as studies in and of itself, but rather, how I pass this exam or something like that. I sometimes lose this broader perspective that we are actually doing that to do something in the future, perhaps to learn something, that these studies are not for our teachers, but for us. Right.
Yeah, of course, it's very important to remember that. And I also forget about it sometimes. But fortunately, um, during my studies, there are actually a lot of subjects that put pressure on us to know how it works in Poland, how
Mm-hmm.
the energy is distributed and stuff. So find it easier for me to not forget about the broader perspective, as you said.
Hmm.
Also, everyone wants to discuss it right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have to, put a bit of authority and
Okay.
straighten some things out, especially with family. Yeah, but I think it's very important to remember that and to apply the knowledge that you gain
Hmm.
to the situation around you.
Yeah, that's very good that you actually see some practical aspects of what you're learning. Because sometimes, yeah, when it's all theoretical, it's difficult to understand why you're doing this, right? But when you have some real life examples, that's much easier.
Yeah, I mean, but
Hmm.
power engineering is actually everywhere. So it's way easier to remember
Hmm.
that there's sites that I can check, and I do it daily, actually. I'm a bit crazy, that show, for example, how much energy we are importing or exporting to other countries that neighbor with us, and what is the frequency in our of our electricity, and so on and so on. Yeah, and I just like that.
Okay.
It's not something that I make myself do. It's
No, of
very
course.
interesting to me how it all works. But as my parents said, it's a bit weird because now I have more worries than I had before.
Okay.
Because most people here just go around their days and they don't think, about how we are exporting or importing way too much energy, and that our infrastructure is unstable right now, or that some power plant broke down and it can't be replaced that quickly. But I do worry about that.
Okay, wow. No, actually, I'm glad that we have some people who are worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm worried, but I can't do anything about it. I just worry.
Yeah, of course.
So, pluses
Oh,
and minuses, but
yeah, that's true. And also, you know what? Another thing that I realized uh, when I, started my studies here is that there are so many people who do their job, right? And like so many people do some specifics, and also that showed me how complex are some systems, right? That some people their job is just to calculate, for example, some let's say strain forces for just one detail, for example, or a couple of details. And that's interesting that when all the people do their job, that we are able to achieve these like great results, right? And yeah, I'm just trying to explain this thing, that I'm glad that there are some people who are interested in that, and there are some people who are actually concerned about that. Because if we had everyone just going around and saying like, "Chill out, man, that's okay. That will repair itself somehow."
yeah, somehow. I mean, maybe energy and the energy systems are more of a general public view, because we all know that there are, the wind turbines and the solar panels and stuff, that everyone knows that it's here, and that or maybe not everyone knows that it's problematic. Maybe not everyone knows that.
Probably not.
But yeah, we see them that happen, right? So it's not as specific.
Hmm.
So everyone can worry about it.
Yeah, sure, of course. But still, not everyone does that.
Yeah, not everyone does that.
Anyway, can you share some, let's say, myths about like power engineering? Do you have such like collection of misconceptions that people often have about power engineering?
I mean, of course there are some, but I'm not sure if people think that anymore, because that's a very old misconception. When you have a power plant or a heat and power plant, they're like the chimneys, right? And they're the white chimneys I say, but they're not chimneys actually, and the higher, slimmer chimneys. So people think that when the wider chimneys, they have like white smoke coming out of them, that's harmful. But it is not, because it's water vapor,
Yeah, of
actually.
course.
So there's that. But I think people stopped thinking that now, that it's somehow they're being educated on the subject. What else? I mean, nuclear energy
Oh
being
yeah,
dangerous.
biggest concern. Yeah,
Yeah,
scary.
but I think that the change in the
Okay.
recent years. some part because of the conflict right now on the east border, but yeah, and because we will have some nuclear power plants. I mean, and what else can I say? The new energy sources, so like the solar panels and the wind turbines, that they can carry our energy system alone.
Oh, yeah.
That's a myth. That's impossible, because when you think about it, that's actually kind of obvious. Because there's no sun during the night, and of course there's also less energy consumption during the night, but we still need. So, like, let's say during the day we need around 22 to 26 gigawatts of energy in Poland. And during the night, that drops to 15, 16.
Okay.
And it's lower in the summer, of course, because we don't use energy for heating. But yeah, so we need that 15, 16 gigawatts from somewhere. And during the night, the wind is also, it
Blowing,
yeah, it doesn't blow that hard during the night. So we have to have something there. And some people think, the sun, the wind, and it will be fine, but it doesn't work that way.
Of course not. Yeah, but I mean, some people have some hopes that we will develop some sort of, accumulation devices, some batteries, but yeah, nothing on the horizon yet. So.
Yeah, we have the power plants that pump water up hills, and then the water gets down. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No.
All right, sorry. It's very common knowledge in my... yeah, as I said, when there's too much energy in our system, because energy is, we have to spend it. You can't just keep it somewhere. So when we don't want to sell to the neighbors, we accumulate it, as you said, in this, maybe not power plant, but storage spaces.
Oh,
And we pump water up a hill.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Like a
So,
lake.
yeah, while you still have some energy and you just have no way to get rid of this energy, you just, pump some water up the hill.
Up the hill into like a pond or a small lake. And then when you need the energy, for example, during morning or evening peaks, when the power plants can't give you that much power in an instant because they're not built to do that, then you just let the water out down the hill, and it goes on water turbine, and then the electricity.
They're spinning, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and
all
it's
this
very
process.
simple, very effective. I think the efficiency is something like 90%, which is great.
Not bad, yeah, because like I've heard, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but some power plants here in Poland, they like usually work. Its efficiency is like around 50% or less.
Oh, that would be fantastic. It was 50. It's 44, the new ones, 47. And we have some older ones from like the 90s and 80s, and they're still working.
Okay.
That's terrifying, but they're still working, and it's like 35%.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so 90% in comparison is fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
But other storage systems, they're not very
efficient.
They're not efficient on a big scale. Maybe in labs, but they're still way too expensive for maybe not even for Poland, but for any country that's looking to store their energy somehow. That's just impossible right now. But maybe in the future.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. You also mentioned this morning and evening peak, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Oh, right. Sorry. Again. So when you go to this site that I was talking about, when you can see how much energy we're selling and buying from the neighbors, you can also see how much energy we need right now, right? And that changes during the day, obviously, because humans have a day cycle and we go to work and then we come back from work. So in the morning from 6 to 9 a.m. there's a peak because everyone gets up, they make coffee, they make breakfast, they drive to work. The offices turn the lights up, turn the heating up, the factories are starting. So then there's a peak. Then it slows down a little bit because people are sitting somewhere. And then they come back from work. There's a bit of a lull when everyone is coming back from work and in their cars or something. And then the evening peak, when you turn on your washing machine, you start doing the dishes, you turn on your TV, and it's we as a society we have such similar routines that it can be seen on this countrywide graph.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
very
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's
and
quite obvious. I just wanted to check if
yeah,
that's
that's
correct.
what I
Mm-hmm.
meant. And during the night, you can see that actually everyone is sleeping only like 3 to 5 a.m. because till 3 there's still a bit energy used up extra.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so the lowest is between 3 and 5, and that's when most of people sleep.
Mm-hmm. Interesting if, like, we can apply sociology here.
Yeah, that was interesting to me when I found out
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, not bad. And of course, probably we should mention that it is your sixth semester, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just one, okay, two semesters left. And what do you plan to do in the future?
So I'd like to finish my master's too, because I think it's important for me and my family also, I guess.
And yeah, I'm sorry. Just let's just clarify that now you're doing your bachelor's.
Yeah, I'm doing my bachelor's, and then I want to finish my master's, so that will be 2.5 years extra.
Yeah.
So I want to do that to like finish up my studies and round my education up as much as possible. And then I would like to find work somewhere, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe a power plant would be a dream.
Okay. Yeah.
It would be a dream for me, but it's hard because there are a lot of specialists, and a lot of them have worked for a while. So as fresh graduate, it's not very attractive to
Yeah.
them.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but maybe some designing, because I also, after my graduation, I should be able to do that. I have the abilities to design stuff and machines as an engineer,
Yeah.
So, but my plans are a bit shaky right now. It depends. The energy market is very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about it when I began my studies, but it is, and it might change in 5 years so much that I will have to think again about my perspectives and what I would like to do. So no planning.
Okay.
Just going with the flow for now.
Yeah. So can you clarify a little bit, like what do you mean when saying that energy market is dynamic? Do you mean that people, they just choose from whom to buy energy, or how is it? Or new sources of energy?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of innovations, and maybe not even innovations, but Poland is going through a very dynamic phase of changing our energy system because of mostly European Union. I mean, obviously, because they're putting pressure on us, but I would say, it's fair that they're putting pressure on us. And yeah, everything has to change. So, for example, a lot of my education right now is focused on power plants that are powered by coal, right? And coal is not really so trendy right now, and it won't be ever again.
No.
So I'm still learning about it because Poland is quite behind other countries in that aspect, and we still have to be using coal because there's no other alternative right now. But in 10, 20, 30 years, we should be shutting down the last of them. So I can't plan to have a career in such a power plant because it won't be working in like my career lifespan. It will shut down.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean mostly. But yeah, also there's a lot of changes.
No, of course. I just wanted to say that, or you have another alternative. You can go to, a country that is not that developed and work there.
Yeah, I mean,
on a coal power plant.
I mean,
no, of course I'm kidding.
Yeah, but actually, you when you said about working in another country, the power engineering studies are problematic in the fact that I can't really go work abroad.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but it's more difficult than with, for example, IT, because energy systems are very individual in each country. They're all different because, for example, in Norway, I think that 60 to 70% of their energy is produced by water power plants because they have a lot of mountains, a lot of
Yeah.
streams and rivers, and they can use that. And if I studied power engineering there, I would learn a lot about water turbines. But because Poland has such a low potential for water energy, we don't really do that here.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that I would have to study a lot more and study extra about each country that I want to go to. So
Wow.
yeah, that's an amount of effort that I'm not really willing to undertake. I
Yeah,
don't want to.
no, of course. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that it is somehow similar to lawyers. You know, lawyers,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
cannot actually, work as a lawyer in another country unless you learn their laws. So,
Yeah, so that's similar actually.
wow,
yeah.
that's interesting. That's something I didn't really think of, you know. For me, it was previously, before this podcast, for me, it was something like just connect two wires and you have energy.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, wires are not really my specialty. It's like more about, water vapor and coal and
Yeah,
stuff. But yeah, and Erasmus is a problem for the exact same reason. Because if I study power engineering somewhere else for a year, I don't really gain anything from that because
Yeah.
it's too specific to that country. My friend actually wanted to go to Sweden, I think, for her studies for a year, and our department said no. I mean, she could go, but then she would have to repeat the year. She wouldn't have her subjects
Oh,
like
yeah.
transferred. They couldn't do that because it was too different.
Wow. So yeah, there's no point in doing that,
Yeah,
basically.
no point. If you wanted to work somewhere else, you would have to study there. And it's too late for me, I guess, because I have been here for 3 years now. It's too late. I have to finish this.
Okay, so do you have any plan B? Any other activities that you like to do just in case you cannot do power engineering?
Just in case they fail me and throw me out on the street. I mean, and I didn't really think about that because I always was quite good with my studies.
No, that's good. I mean, I didn't want to say this way. Okay, let me ask you
Yeah,
about
no.
your other interests.
Yeah, that's better because my interests are not there. They can't be monetized in that way. I think you know that already, but I knit.
Yes.
I do sweaters and hats and socks and other stuff. So that's.
Is it just in case all the power plants are, gone in Poland?
I mean, no, but it will help. They're very warm,
Yeah,
very
of course.
comfortable. Yeah, but I was thinking about that actually in winter when I had my heater on full, but because everyone in our block of flats had it on full too, my room was still cold, and I was under, a blanket and doing my sweater and thinking, oh my goodness, this will be the end of me. At least I will have my sweater.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, but it's very relaxing, I would say, and don't tell anyone. But when I have my lectures, no one really cares whether I'm on my phone or if I'm knitting.
Wow.
So I'm knitting a
okay.
sweater.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a slow start to the semester, so I've done like half of a sweater now, basically.
How long does it usually take to, let's say, make a medium-sized sweater?
Actually, it's hard to say because it depends on how much time I have. So, like, I was knitting a sweater for 2.5 months when I was a bit busy, but now that I knit it during every lecture, now I have a half a sweater done in basically 3 weeks.
Okay, not bad. So you'll finish your sweater in the middle of spring. Good job.
It's not a good job because it's a winter sweater.
Yeah,
and
of course. I understand. That's why I said good job. Yeah.
Maybe I will get to wear it once when I go back home up north because I'm from Olsztyn and it's colder there.
Okay.
So maybe. Last year during the long May weekend, there was snow. So maybe
Not
I
bad.
I could wear the sweater then.
So, by the way, where is it located? Is it closer to the sea, the Baltic Sea, or?
So it's defined as northeast of Poland, but it's so like by car it's an hour and a half from Gdańsk.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't we don't have a sea. We have a lot of lakes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Austin is a great city to visit. Please visit us.
Okay, yeah, sure. Visit Austin.
Yeah, visit Austin. And we have a lot of lakes and forests and stuff like that. And we don't really have a lot of people around.
Which is good in some cases. I mean,
In some cases it's good, but it's a bit of a small city because we are the center city of our voivodeship.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are small.
Is it the capital of your voivodeship?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
okay.
But we have under 200,000 citizens.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
mean, maybe with the students it will be 200,000 because we have quite a large university.
Mm.
So I would say like the university here in Wrocław, it was something like this.
Do you know the history of this city? Because at least for me, it's when I hear like Olsztyn, right?
Yeah.
So it is a little bit like German, or am I mistaken?
No, you are right.
Oh, okay.
You are very right because the original name was, I believe, Allenstein.
Mhm.
So that means I don't know, like a rock by Allen, and Allen is the name of the river that flows through Olsztyn. It's Wyna now.
Mhm.
And that region was in general German for a very long time, but it's actually, our voivodeship is divided into two regions.
Mhm.
There's Warmia and there's Mazury.
Okay. Yeah.
People don't really talk about Warmia, but I'm very annoyed when people say that I'm from Mazury because I'm not. I'm from Warmia.
Uh-huh.
And it's an important distinction because historically Warmia was Polish for a long time, and then it was taken back by the Germans, while Mazury was German till the end of the Second World War, I believe.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we
Didn't
have-
know about that. Mhm.
I mean, it's a bit niche, but
Yeah.
so Warmia is a bit different, but right now the cultural differences are not, you can't really see them because a lot of the Germans went back to Germany, like from this area, right?
Yeah.
Like from
yeah,
Wrocław.
exactly.
They evacuated. But yeah, Warmia.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. By the way, that reminded me of another distinction. Like, yeah, like when I talked to Bartek, Bartek.
Yeah, I know
He
Bartek.
also mentioned something like, I don't remember the name of the another city, but it was something like he's from Rybnik, and Rybnik is like, as in his own words, it is Silesia, real Silesia,
Yeah.
unlike this one.
Yeah, because there's Górny Śląsk and
Yeah.
Dolny Śląsk. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was Sosnowiec. Yeah, so he told me that Sosnowiec is not a real like Slonsk.
Yeah, but people from Sosnowiec, they say that Rybnik is not real. So I think there's a bit of war going on, but also people here in Wrocław, if you tell them that they're Silesian, they will be angry.
Mm.
They will be so angry at
Wow.
you.
Okay.
Because it's such a different culture that this
Wow.
is not Silesia, this is like lower Silesia. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I found out about that when I called my friend who's from Wrocław that he's Silesian, and he said, "No, you can never say that. That's
Wow.
so offensive to me."
Wow, didn't know about that.
Yes, so be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, I will be. Although, I mean, of course.
I mean, if you want to end up with a knife in your ribs or something, then no, don't be careful. I mean, you don't have to, but
Yeah, of course.
it's a good precaution, I would say.
Mhm.
in
Call,
some-
call Varmia Mazury,
Yeah.
and vice versa, and you're done, basically.
You're done.
Yeah, of course. Another question I wanted to ask you was whether you're a part of any scientific club, but apparently we talked about that before the podcast.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not.
No, that's okay. But I mean, probably the only thing I can say here is just that our university has some scientific clubs. So if you're interested, you can check this out somewhere on the internet. So,
Yeah, there are a lot
Uh-huh.
actually. They give amazing opportunities. I'm just too lazy to join them. But my friend, for example, is in the one that makes a space rover, and now she went to Australia
not bad.
on competition.
Like competition.
So
okay.
and people from our department went to the States, I believe,
yeah.
to Las Vegas lately. So there's an opportunity for you there.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't know.
Good. I guess we can slowly move towards the end. So this part was recorded after our podcast. Ula wanted to add something about wires, so let's listen to her.
All right, thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to add that actually power engineering students do have some subjects regarding electricity and wires, as you said, but actually we're not experts at this. There are other students who study electricity exclusively that are, masters of wires, and I would say that you have to go to them with that kind of problem. We study more the thermodynamic processes during energy production. So, for example, you burn coal, then water gets heated and it goes through a turbine. The turbine turns the generator and the electricity flows. So that's more of my
specialty expertise.
Yeah, that's my specialty. So don't go to anyone who studies power engineering and ask them about electricity and wires. Don't, please don't.
Of course, you're not, as you put it, wire masters, or
yeah, I'm not a wire master.
Yeah, okay. Do you hate wire masters?
No, they're great. I mean,
Okay.
They're so impressive to me because the easy part stuff is easy, but the more complicated it gets, then I just drown in wires, and electricity is scary. So, good job, guys. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I also have this respect for people who really know some fields that's great. Yeah, and probably you can hear the rain in the background. Okay, anyway, we can
ASMR.
finish. Yep.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to add. Thanks.
Okay, bye. This episode was recorded at Radio Luz LUZ on campus of Wrocław University of Science and Technology. You can find more episodes on our YouTube channel as well as on various other platforms connected to Radio Luz. You can write to us to 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com, which is 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and see you next time.